Listen, you may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. How's it going, friends? So, I got through an entire playthrough of Sonic Unleashed Recompiled, and it is magnificent. And I say this as someone who actually got a hankering to play Sonic Unleashed at 60 frames a second and bought an Xbox Series X not 3 months prior. A lesser man would feel cheated, swindled, but I'm just happy that our favorite hog in one of his best looking games is out there and ready to play for more people who happen to own the original game, of course, obviously. So after you're done transferring your disc file and the DLC into the beautiful installer that uses the in-game interface and feels so professional, probably more professional than Sega will ever give you, you can get ready to experience absolute hedgehog engine bliss. The game will support 60 frames plus a second. If you got one of those fancy 240 hertz monitors, go hog wild, man, go crazy. It'll support ultra-wide, though I personally find ultra-wide almost too much. I want to like it more, but it looks fantastic. Just messes with my muscle memory a bit. And you can pick from the Xbox 360 or PlayStation options, including the loading screens, which will default to the PS3 loading screens just because it's faster. But goddamn is that 360 iconic with the Sonic Werehog transformation. You can even enable the warm filter that they had on the 360 version. If you're missing it, man, these guys thought of everything. Now, I might say that lesser content creator would tell you to install mods, tell you to skip the whole metal hunt and, I don't know, man, turn Chip into Miku Hatsune. I'm gonna say, if you have not experienced Sonic Unleashed before, don't. Come on now. Be a true gamer. Look for those damn medals. My simple advice is, they're kind of everywhere, and as long as you keep playing the medals and play some alternate missions and so on and so forth, just look around and don't make a beeline for the next level, and you'll find them. It's been over 10 years since I did a full playthrough of Sonic Unleashed, and the only sticking point I think I had was once I got to Adabat, and I needed, like, I don't know, 3 more sun medals or something, which was easily remedied by some extra missions. So just be sure to do a few side things here and there. And on top of that, I say, please do talk to all the people in this expansion to the Sonic universe. They clearly put some effort into giving a lot of characters specific designs and giving them little teeny character arcs, like, you know, a relationship kind of buds, or you have these kids trying to sort of help their mom out, and just like cute things like that. You'll find out more if you kind of like look into the art gallery and read up on each character and stuff. It's really cute. I love this kind of stuff. I'm a sucker for a game that gives each character their own name and history. Like, it's just better than like generic NPC and stuff. Though, I mean, those Station Square swimsuit ladies, am I right? People may mock sort of the Sonic RPG aspect that Sonic Adventure started, but I, for one, feel like Sonic is a cool dude that likes to listen and kind of help people out with their problems. He is indeed a gallant hedgehog, and every little town based on a real-world place is beautiful anyway. You'll want to look around, take in the sights, eat all the food, but be sure to buy some for yourself and Chip. Even feed him some of those fancy chili dogs that you get by doing extra missions. You'll thank me later. Oh snap, and speaking of grind, that's right, there's an experience grind as well. That can be a tougher one to recommend against installing a mod. To get to max level, it can seem to take forever, but you don't really need to be max level to get to the end of the game. You don't even really need to be max level to do Sonic speed missions and get rank S's, you know? I will say that Sonic's missions during the day tend to get you a lot of extra rings, and one can use those rings to buy lots of chili dogs. Those chili dogs give you about 30 EXP a piece, so if you're really getting tired of the grind, you could just like keep working on getting the best times in the daytime levels and then go cash it in and level up the werehog like crazy. Be sure to level up like strength, get your combos up, because you'll want like, you know, more than 1 or 2 options to fight enemies with. And the werehog in and of himself, the infamous werehog, look, he has some issues, but I personally feel most of those issues boil down to simple pacing problems. The levels are pretty long. You kind of have to settle in and get used to that. And just remember that your final score is not really determined by time, but by your overall score, which you can get a big chunk of score by just doing special attacks to a few enemies, especially the big Brutuses over here, you know? Those guys with the clubs. And special tip, the QTEs are determined by how much health the enemy has left. It's something I forget frequently, because I just want to hit the QTE as soon as it shows up, but it's nearly impossible without doing sort of a pause, unpause situation to hit those buttons in time. So you're also invulnerable during Unleashed state, so get your mileage out of that, go crazy. And I just found out that if you get knocked down by those big guys, you should lay down. Don't get up. I know, crazy, right? But don't mash that button, don't get up, let the shockwave go over you, then get up. It'll save you a lot of trouble, I promise. I actually think the werehog stages in and of themselves are kind of cool, like sweet platforming things. You got kind of a Tasmanian devil mixed with Dalsum kind of vibe. I even think he controls better at low speeds than Sonic does, who feels kind of more like a car, you know, rather than a platforming character. It took a while for the boost games to kind of find a good balance between those things, I think. What else? Have I given any tips on the boost stages? I'm not sure I need to. That seems to be the thing that everybody just likes, so I don't know if I have to work to convince people to enjoy those stages. I used to give a warning about Eggman Land toward the end. I used to say that if you give up at that point, I don't really blame you. And that might still be the case, for some anyway. But I find that at 60 frames a second, it's a lot more tolerable. But bear in mind that that's another long stage. Maybe that's the biggest thing I can say in Sonic Unleashed, is Sonic stages historically haven't been very long, and you have to understand that some late stages in Unleashed just are long. Get a snack, settle in, you might be here for a while. But I still think it's an enjoyable while. You know, I think that's one thing about most character action games and why they give like little ranks along the way, is that it makes it feel very episodic. It doesn't feel like one long 45-minute slog. It's more like little sections of like 3 to 4 minutes apiece. And maybe, ultimately, it would benefit Sonic Unleashed to do that kind of thing as well. But we have the game we have. And I think that there are just very high highs in Unleashed that, if you've never experienced them for yourself, please do it. And despite my recommendations against too many mods or anything like that, if that does help you get through the game easier, if it does help you enjoy it, you know, figure it out, that's fine. Your mileage may vary, but I think the original game is very solid as is, and you'll probably have the best sort of understanding of what may have made the game sort of controversial at the time if you play it the original way. Oh wait, I do have a tip for the speed stages. If you've played Sonic Generations, please understand that the drifting is good, but not like Sonic Generations. You're gonna have to like approach it pretty wide and go inward. It's not like as clean of a turn as Generations and Forward has made it, so you're gonna have to unlearn a thing or two. But I promise you, when you learn how Unleashed works, it is nirvana. If you're okay with the whole boost gameplay thing in the first place, that is. Anyway, I'm not here to tell you every single thing about Sonic Unleashed. This is not like a thorough review or anything along those lines. I'm saying set it up and experience it for yourself. I think that it's one of the last times Sonic Team was given enough budget to go for something really ambitious. And I'd like to see The love for Unleashed combined with the more recent love for Sonic Frontiers, recognized by Sega, and maybe, just maybe, they'll try to make Sonic as big of a thing as Mario still is. I think he deserves it. I always have. And maybe after playing Unleashed you will too. Anyway, another gush, but a little more relevant, has a big fancy project that I failed to talk about. The fact that this thing was recompiled and potentially any 360 game can be given this sort of love and care, not automatically, but with enough time, is so cool. I'd love to see a future where every 360 game has a PC port like this, but time will tell. Time will tell. Alright, Sonic Heroes, if you had a nice time with my ramblings, please do subscribe, follow me on Twitch, where I've had a lot more content going on for a while. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you played it and you liked it, that'd be great, and I will catch you in the next one. Later.